Hello, everyone, and welcome to match 2 of tonight, match 3 of the tournament. This is a familiar rivalry we have going on. I am Angry Larry, joined with Digshake. Digshake, you want to take us through the history of the two runners we're watching tonight?
Yeah, so it goes back a couple months to the first tournament that we had, the first seasonal hardcore invitational tournament. They faced each other, and I believe first round. I can't remember.
BGT won the first. No, Joshi beat BGT the first round.
Okay, but then Joshi beat BGT the second.
Yes, in the Ultimate Losers final.
Yeah, so BGT was the ultimate loser, but then they met again in the second round, and I believe that BGT won. So the series stands at 2-1 BGT. And so here we are at the fourth meeting of this pretty heated rivalry. They've been
It's Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather in a nerdier environment. Is that offensive to people? It's basically not Conor McGregor. It's like your worst of your worst two fighters getting into the ring, but for some reason they're talking like they're making $100 million.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just going to ready
there's
up,
definitely
not wait for my signal. I love when they do this.
Well, your stream looks mostly ready. The cropping on BGT seems a little off.
It does seem a little off. That was a little bit off on his. I took a video on demand to pre-crop, since they decided to start the race at 11:30 and then not turn their streams on until 11:28. I figured I had to do something, so I'll fix it. Whoa, wrong button. You don't see that, thankfully.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of hype going into this race. I'm excited. Although, if I had to make a pregame pick here, my money would probably be on Joshy D, only because Joshy D, I think, has a bit more experience and has been grinding Zelda 2 quite a bit.
I thought grinding was a bad thing.
Well, not grinding in that sense. Grinding just in playing a lot of seeds. Shout out to Puckle. And Puckle, for those who aren't aware, was a stuffed. Is it a cougar or a bobcat on Josh D's stream?
Bobcat. Yeah.
Looking at his stream now, you can see Puckle's gone and is replaced by some sort of girl. So
yeah, it's a tapestry or something.
Yeah.
Both runners are talking about tiers and tasting tiers and drinking tiers and stuff like that. I don't think either one of them cares about this game. I think they just want to smack talk rest of their life.
It just sounds like a good way to get sick to me.
Any truth to the rumor, Joshy D spent $24.99 making a BGT's Tears Smell Taste Good mug?
I don't know. That mug looked pretty cheap. I'd put it at about $2.
Well, we have a little bit of a difference right now because looks like BGT is an Elf Guard.
Yeah. BGT with the ROM hack, looks like.
I think that's compliments of CF. I wonder if he knew he was going to be using that or if it's remnant of leftover from him showing it off the other day.
Definitely aware.
Well, why don't you take us through the opening, I guess, what have you, of a race? What are you looking for? What are you looking to do? What are the flags forcing you to do?
Yeah, so priority number one is going to be finding items, I think, for most people, and towns, since they have spells. There's 4 towns, 2 of which have a free spell. The one Joshy D's in right now does not have a free spell, but he'll be back there later, probably. And then there are 5 potential item caves and a grass tile, so the rando is sort of front-loaded like that. I think it makes the seeds a little bit easier to get through than if you only had like 2 items at the start to go look for.
And we have Medicine Cave for both players. There will be an item in here. What it is, we'll find out pretty much maybe simultaneously. BGT takes the first death of the game, I believe. I was trying to set some stuff up.
The last death of the game, though, knowing these two runners.
No, because I believe in roller games they died in the Ultimate Loser match. They died a combination of 43 different times, maybe.
Did you count every single time?
I think Buzz was counting in chat, and you see Joshy D takes the death there, and BGT gains the lead, but then BGT gives it right back. This is pretty much what you're going to expect. Joshy D versus BGT 4 is living up to the hype right now.
Yeah, these blue divers blue gorillas giving them a lot of trouble right now.
And to be fair, we're going to have a little fun at these runners' expense throughout because they're all buddies, and we're involved in another series of tournaments with them. This cave's really no joke at 1-1-1-1-1-2.
Especially because it looks like there's at least, was that 3 gorillas? I can't.
3 blue gorillas, I believe, yes. And both of them take a game over right in there. And here's Magic Container Cave, or Magic Jar Cave.
So, mystery item in that cave is Joshy D picks up a little digger.
Yes, Little Digger was the winner of the straw poll. And we have a magic container in the Magic Container Cave, so awesome start. What are some other flags that we have going on that we want to be aware of as the race goes on?
That's a great question. I think probably being moved around is something to pay attention to.
I'm sorry, what was that you clipped out?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the palaces being moved around. Something to pay attention to, because that actually is very important for routing. Probably sort of the second phase. And depending on what order you do them in, effect.
We see one cave is blocked by a boulder, and we know for a fact that that's going to block an item cave, not Death Mountain or any of the pass-through item caves. So there's going to be one inaccessible cave at least to start this until we find a hammer to be able to access it.
And that could be anything from the glove to a pea bag in there. We don't really know.
And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be hard to distinguish between the overworld, between the two runners, because of the different ROM that they're using, the Dragon Warrior sprites versus the regular sprites. Because I believe that was the same boulder that Joshy D just passed, but it really looked different.
No, they're almost in the exact same spot.
Yeah,
now,
yeah. That's why I said it was same and just looked different.
It's a little curious. I don't think he has jump or fairy.
Neither player has either.
Unless I missed it.
No, neither player has a spell. We've only seen Mito as far as I know.
So BGT is going to be a little disappointed at the end of this cave unless he's trying to damage boost on over the top of the jump cave or something.
I don't know what he can think this cave is. Maybe he thinks it's Heart Container Cave or something, but he knows a little bit better than that. But I say that, and he's still going to go through here.
A bit of the nerves coming through. I don't know.
I think he finally realized it and backed off. I think he thought this was going to be something. Well, obviously something it wasn't, but maybe Parappa Cave, or obviously not Fairy Cave, but whatever it wasn't going to be whatever he thought it was, because he was in the third screen by then. So Palace's shuffling also includes Great Palace, and Fire will be a spell that's linked to another spell. As Joshy D finds Trophy Cave, we'll find an item in here.
Yes, that's right. And what that spell is can really change seed. If it's something like, that seed can really change in a hurry.
You're clipping pretty bad. What did you say?
Sorry, let me check my...
It's like you're doing a Wayne at the donut drive-thru on me.
Yeah, hopefully that's better. I think my sensitivity was just turned up way too high.
Yeah, that's definitely better. You can hear it. We find our second town here. It is the party end of Saria. So we'll pick up a spell. Let's see which one it is. We found 2 items. 3 item caves, but 2 items. And so far we have a magic container and a pea bag.
One item cave is blocked, so...
Yeah, so that just leaves one more cave to be discovered, and the grass tile. We're going to see what the spell is here, as BGT is going to pick up the pea bag. Wasn't even a good pea bag. It was a dollar store pea bag. I'll explain what that means in just a moment. Let's just track this spell. And it is Thunder.
Be unhappy to see that. It's even castable at 80 magic with his 5 containers. He can just barely cast it, so...
So correct me when I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. The way this game works is it shuffles the small item locations, including the pea bag caves, first. And since the flags in this tournament in the Swiss round, as we find 3 or 6 on Joshua D's side, the way the flags work, since we're including pea bags in the item shuffle, it shuffles the small items through the pea bag caves first, and then when it shuffles the real items, it shuffles whatever the small items shuffled into the where the regular items could be. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we saw the 100-point pea bag, because that got shuffled into probably the Western continent pea bag cave, and then reshuffled into the pea bag cave because of the pea bag caves can contain items flag.
Yeah, and the reason I did it that way is because then the only thing you would find in an item slot would be and I think it's hilarious when people find red jars and stuff like that in item rooms.
Yeah, so red jars, pea bags that are 500, 200, 100, even a 50-point pea bag, the dollar store pea bags, or a one-up, a little digger, could be shuffled into key locations like the palaces and stuff like that.
Yep, that's correct.
Like
I'm hoping to take advantage of the fact that there's extra keys in these palaces.
BGT is going to grind this nut knuckle for a couple levels, looks like, or just one maybe, get his up A, get a fresh set of lives. There's another palace.
Yeah. People are aware that I'm a pretty outspoken advocate, but if you are going to grind, do it early, don't do it late. That's...
My philosophy on it, and obviously it's not as good as yours, depending on ranking and race results, is that you have to pick and choose when you're going to do it, and have a reason maybe. Whether it's you can't cast Reflect and you're in 4 in the Valley of Death and you can't get out, or you find a good spot, good grass tile, grass encounter on the Eastern Continent with a lot of dudes stuck in the ground.
Yes.
But again, early, it's got to make a difference.
Yeah, early is definitely better. Late game, your levels, unless you really screwed up your levels, they're probably already pretty good, so just keep rolling. Actually, D struggling with some blue iron knuckles here, although he's taken the I'll do this strat, Angry Larry, where you just keep pushing him back.
So what palaces are we in here? We're in one for BGT, and where did Joshua D jump into?
The color just looks a little different, probably because BGT's playing on emulator, and BGT has his emulator color set to be extra bright, I think.
Oh, so they're both in one?
Nice looking purple palace. Joshua D's been digging for that item, but still hasn't been able to find it. I'll do the same, actually, since it's still pretty early and could be something good like the glove or the raft. Head, not a bad thing. Go with attack 2. And there he goes. So Joshua D is going to place our first gem of the race here. Oh, Horsehead actually being very generous, dropping 100 XP, so he's even going to be able to get another attack level out of it, which is great. I expect that we'll see him go back in and look for the item. Yeah. I'm not surprised by this move at all. He's checked most of this palace. There really can't be that many rooms. In fact, he's going to have to go directly left here at start, I think. So it's probably going to be this key room and then the item in the very next room after that. So hopefully he's got 2 keys. As BGT is at this blue iron knuckle. Ooh. Taking a game over. That's very unfortunate. Joshy D does. So I'm not sure what his plan is there. Realizing that he can't get the item and has to come back later. That's really unfortunate. So Joshy D at this point has explored most of the open caves here. He might go back and try to do, yeah, Medicine Cave. Not a bad idea.
Why did he bang out of 1 key blocked?
1 key, and he's going to need at least 2. Although he might have been able to get a key through that key door. I'm trying to remember how many keys they've found. I think so. There's 1. And I don't think he's found them all. I think he could have gotten another key had he kept going through there. Or on these blue gorillas, too. We will figure out what this item is in here, maybe. Got a Raft on Joshy D's side. Boomerang guys don't mess around. So for those who aren't familiar, the enemy colors let you know how difficult the enemy is going to be. Usually that's in terms of health and damage stats, but in the case of the gorillas, it also factors into how many boomerangs they throw. So the blue guys throw way more boomerangs than the red or the orange ones do. At all, actually.
This is my favorite thing on Joshy D's screen, when there's just stuff everywhere and slow down, and it doesn't seem like there's a logical way to dodge. He's handling it right now.
T's in the item room in 1, and he actually does have a key to get in there. So it looks like we are going to find out what this item is. If he can clear this iron knuckle.
Yeah, you got to take a big run at him and let go of the D-pad when you jump, because they read your inputs.
Or just zap him with a thunder spell. Afraid to use thunder here.
No, we're still not going to find out what this item is.
Keep trying. Checking his spells, or maybe he's checking his keys, I don't know. Give it another shot. See if he zaps him this time. He seems to have found P-Bag Cave down here in the bottom right corner, so...
So that's the last cave we can access. That means that Heart Container Cave is going to be blocked by the need for the hammer.
There's still a grass tile out there somewhere.
And let's not forget the 2 items in Death Mountain.
Rewarded with a little digger as we see BGT does start zapping people, so...
Bad items to start here on the Overworld.
Yeah, nothing too... Oh, wow. BGT makes it through 1, only to find another waiting for him.
I think he wanted to at least die and see the item to know if he wanted to come back.
Yeah, he's... Oh, he actually made it. Zap him. Ugh.
Yeah,
not enough.
Attack 3, that wasn't going to work.
Go to the steps and jump over them that way. Bad idea.
Got a Bagoo sighting on Joshy D's side. We know one end of Saria. We don't know the other end of Saria. And as of
He
right
could-
now, they can't get over the other side of Jump Cave.
Go get to a different part of the map, potentially.
So I was dealing with a few things. We've only been in this part of the map, right? Oh,
And-
my God.
Wow.
I mean, like, I'm disgusted to be doing this with you right now. I got to be honest. So just to, we don't like to do the recap thing here, but Palace 1 has a little digger. P-Bag Cave, a little digger. P-Bag, 100-point P-Bag in Trophy Cave, and a Magic Container in Magic Container Cave. This is not a good item seed so far for these guys.
Raft and Medicine Cave, though, so
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
required thing you gotta find, but
Yeah, eventually getting that.
so I guess holding out for Grass Tile to have something good, or sailing to the east. That you can find some cool stuff over there. It's probably the plan. If you can figure out how to get over there.
Did we find a third palace, or were they both, was 3 and 6 on this side?
I think we've only seen 2 so far.
Okay,
3
so
and 6.
3 or 6, and then Palace 1, which they're in now. We've seen
Yep.
Saria and Mito, but we've never seen Rudo or Raru. So there is definitely another side, another area to this continent where both these runners should be trying to explore, I would think, right now. It may contain the grass tile, a spell, and a Death Mountain that might have an easily accessible hammer cave.
Oh, this is almost looking like a Bagoo required seed right now.
Joshy D did get the letter from Bagoo, so
Be something good in Death Mountain, like the boots, or Death Mountain could let you pass through the other side, but
well, I tell you what, it's not going to be a red jar 1-up or a bad pea bag because they're all been found.
more crappy items, well, relatively crappy items, for the rest of this race at least. Sometimes that 1-up comes at just the right time. Early game's usually not when you want to see it, but if you're going through Palace 6 or something, you find a 1-up, it's not always a bad thing.
Oh, with the time to take to kill Rebo. Maybe Palace 6 was a bad example.
Yeah, I think Joshy's only options right now are Saria and Death Mountain. I think that's it. He's got Jump Cave, but no way to get through.
Oh, we did see an entrance to Death Mountain? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, we did. Joshy D was definitely on Death Mountain for a second.
Yeah, someone is handling the tracker. What's wrong with it?
I think, are you on studio mode?
Yeah, but the tracker... Oh,
Joshy
okay.
D's got 1 clear.
You're right, I am. My bad.
Oh, Joshy D finding the other side of Jump Cave. That's interesting. So Jump Cave is just completely useless then. How did he get here? Did I miss something? He must have found the short cave or something. I missed how he got here.
Well, that wasn't Jump Cave that he walked through. Because Jump Cave would have been higher on that exit.
No, it definitely wasn't. Well, he found the other side of Jump Cave, but I think he must have gone through Short Cave or something to get to where he is now, because he's up north. He's on another other part of the continent right now, and I just didn't see how he got there.
And he was in the grass tile, and I missed that as well.
That was a magic jar.
Okay, thank you.
6 and 1 on this side. BGT is gonna pick up the raft right here. So for Josh ED, well, he needs the Shield Town spell, which it looks like it's right there. That.
Well, I was going to say wrong end of Saria is around as well, but all three tri-state area right there. So all three of the entrances to towns we haven't found are in that area. And that last palace, did he duck into it yet?
It's the other half of 3-6.
Okay.
Well, I mean, regardless of what the spell is, even if it's something good like Fairy, he's probably taking the Raft spot. I would think. Or he might duck back and get downstab first. Especially, well, he got jump, so downstab feels pretty darn tempting right now, I'm sure. The Raft seems to be the key. BGT's, I mean, kind of getting in that same place as Joshie D was. Head up north and then hopefully find the Raft spot. The levels, it looks like BGT is a little bit ahead, actually. Double ahead. Probably due to that little extra grinding that he did. Oh, is he going to do Death Mountain? Or is he going to take a peek and then leave? And here we go. Let's see what the East Continent looks like. Usually not what you want to see. Which he proceeds to zap. There's a town right there, so that's good news.
You're a little bit ahead of everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just hold your comment for like 4 seconds and it probably should be good. See what the spell here is in Kasuto. I like BGT's use of Thunder there. Too bad the enemies are on the lower end of the experience chain.
Yeah.
We get life in Kasuto.
So not an immediately useful... Yeah, not an immediately useful spell, but I'm sure he won't be unhappy to see that.
I don't think either of these two runners, a lot of runners, myself included, are not necessarily offended if we get a life spell. It's certainly quicker to cast it than it is to take a game over or a death and start over again some screens.
Sure.
And get Darunia. No kid. He could go get upstab if he wants, but general consensus, I guess, Dig Shake, is that you get 2 for 1 if you need to look for that spell.
Yeah, I actually will often go in there and grab it. I don't mind having it, but...
Well, the I mean,
the
positive side to that is you may not need to go back into Darunia. So
yeah.
If you don't get upstab and you want upstab for Great Palace or whatever reason, then you're going to need to double back and find it and come back around.
It does take about a minute, though, to grab it.
Speaking of taking about a minute, BGT does grab the 1-up in P-Bag Cave.
During a P-Bag Cave as well. For that breakthrough item, something like the glove would be huge. Something like the boots would be immensely helpful. Pretty nice thing to find right now, because then you could just go back and grab that spell.
It's another magic jar. Well, at least he'll be able to get the new Kasuto item.
Nuke and Pseudo would be pretty tempting. No spell yet, but there was Maze Island, I think. With a couple items laying around.
I think BGT is walking around in encounters trying to get to this next level here. Because he just jumped in a forest encounter and didn't even go to see what the small item was. He just gave up and up-A'd. I believe that was a last-ditch effort to get a level before up-A'ing and decided better of it.
Chats here from Joshy D casting Jump on this encounter. Not a bad idea if you're just trying to avoid those enemies and get through.
Finding the first of the items on Maze Island, it's a heart container.
One.
What was that?
Found the second item as well, which is coming right up here.
Where are these items? Like the real ones?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
The only item we have, spell items included, that are not, you know, containers or whatever, the raft.
We've got the desert tile out there somewhere. We got, I don't think he's gonna be trying to do Palace 5 right now. We got another P-Bag Cave in the east for them to find. Oh, he's gonna go all the way back. Probably grab a down stab. Which is not a bad idea. Be doing a little bit more grinding here.
I think he stepped on that graveyard tile thinking it was going to be an encounter. Like, let me get away from these overworld encounters. Let me just step on the graveyard. And then he stood there for a second and then realized it wasn't an encounter tile. All right, now he's on his way to get a jump for himself.
Yep. I bet we'll see him go grab down stab here pretty soon as well.
It'd probably be the first thing I did. I mean, Mito was pretty close to start. It was the first one you found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only downside is that getting back to that raft is that raft spot is not very close to start. Back over, I mean, there's really nothing you can do right now on this continent. Pretty big gambles at this point. Be very likely to be key blocked or fairy blocked. Glow blocked. So what's Joshy D doing here? Is he just trying to remember? Yeah. Oh, he might be going back for the item in Palace 1 that he never got. Well, that's going to be some disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I really blame him. It's right there. It's an item. An item has an equal chance to be anywhere, so why go way out of your way when you can go to somewhere where you pretty much narrow down where it could be?
You know the bad news. Opposite. Like, what if that's the glove and I skipped it? Then, you know,
Did BGT just
my
try to get a
opponent's
spell
now
for a
got
second time?
did. T is probably going to take the Raft spot now, I would imagine. Surprised to see him take a similar path to what we saw Joshy D do in the East. Key to get through here.
What would you're clipping really bad again? What'd you say?
Joshy D does not have a key to get through, so
Okay. I mean, that is the gamble. Maybe I'll revisit my answer here and say that why not? Well, I guess that is the why not, is because he left because of potential key issues. And now he's going back in with those same key issues. No fairy, no magic key. Maybe this was not such a hot idea after all.
well, he'll be able to get a key out of here. I think there's at least one key that's waiting for him somewhere, but anything useful for him. So, but again, he doesn't know that.
Let's see how BGT handles the East here. First time here, right? I believe. So he'll jump into Kasudo.
So Josh D getting 2 keys. Probably gonna up A now, maybe. And you know, a little bit of leveling up too while he's in there, which is not a bad this time necessarily.
This 4, I don't remember Joshy. I wasn't watching if Joshy went in there or not, but 4 is easily accessible in the East.
Yeah, Josh D.
Joshy had to have gone, yeah, because there's Darunia.
So BGT's gonna go ahead and grab up stab.
Gonna reduce his magic so that when he casts jump, it's still ticking up, and it will fully refill him even after casting the spell. And here's some fun for Joshy. He's got downstab, so he'll be able to get over these blue iron knuckles, but still. I'm looking in IRC because it looks like he's typing a message for you.
Oh, and the reaction on his face.
Yeah.
He found that one up. You could see on his face. Yeah, so
where would you go next if you were Joshy?
Gotta go back east. Gotta go through a cave, I think. That's what I would do. Death Mountain is an option, but not a pleasant one. Crazy to go to Death Mountain, I guess. It's not the worst strategy in the world, but Abe, you got more towns with useful spells like Fairy sitting in the east, so you just gotta. At this point, BGT made up some ground there while Joshy was in 1. They're not that far apart, honestly, in terms of what they know, what they have.
Joshy just a little bit more comfortable with those 2 heart containers out of Maze Island.
But I think we'll see BGT get those pretty soon here, although he's on his last life.
Here's the P-Bag Cave, and this one's going to be the Magic Jar. He's got the life spell, so he can refill here.
At least one cave for Joshy D to take. I can't remember if there was more than that. I think it might have just been the one, which makes the decision pretty easy.
Well, there's still the desert. Did they either one of them push through the desert yet?
Yeah, that's a good call. Ignore that because most people don't like going through there.
It's 2 encounters, and in these flags, you're gonna get desert encounters, not something random. If you can try to do the encounter skip by going over the ones with the, the jumps over the water and such, wouldn't be that bad of an idea to do, to try before going into a cave, especially if you're trying to visualize the continent, because I'm more of a visualization person when I'm exploring the overworld. I don't like jumping into a cave and then coming out a random area and not knowing, where that is in the scope of the continent on the physical plane. So if I could just get to a dead end first before it helps me understand the continent a little bit better for backtracking reasons and such.
Costly game over from BGT there. It's got to go all the way back now. Cave looks like into a new part of the map.
That desert right there, to a little bit to the north of them, that might be the desert that comes out to the other area.
Oh yeah, that's true. It could be.
Because I believe we saw the River Devil before, because I was going to comment on how neither player has the single item.
River Devil, so... Here's the second P-Bag Cave. We got to be getting some good items here pretty soon.
Well, there's 2 heart containers, 1 magic container, no dollar store items, and I guess the flute and the cross still exist. We know we can get around the River Devil, and just right on cue, we know we can get around the River Devil, and we find the
man. Pretty miserable items so far. Like this, then it kind of turns into, whoever finds the glove first is going to win.
Well, it's an interesting question. Would you rather have no items immediately available to you, or be on that never-ending search for that one thing that's required to win the game?
That one thing that you don't know is really frustrating. Making it to Maze Island here, it looks like. Pretty close anyway.
I'm gonna find another spell as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We still need Reflect and likely Fairy.
Joshy can now get... I didn't see how much it costs, but at Magic 3, I'll assume he can cast... And 7 magic containers, I'll assume he can cast spell. Joshy finds New Kasuto. He's got 2 items right there.
He can't cast it. It was 93.
Okay. But Bentglasstube also has 7 magic containers as well, and if he's following a path similar to Joshy D, he'll arrive on the spell before he finds New Kasuto, which we just found.
So that's good timing.
That is the last magic jar.
Yeah,
in
the
the
look
game.
on Joshy D's face, he can't help but smile. He's just totally getting screwed right now.
As
What can he
BG
do about it?
No, you can't do anything. And BGT picks up the 2 heart containers on Maze Island. Let's grab this spell. Let's hope it's something, you know, to lighten the mood here. To put a little smile on his face for the right reason.
That's a good spell right there.
Yes.
On how you look at it, it opens the door for something useful to be in level 5 now, perhaps.
I do need to point out there's going to be a magic container, magic item, spell item needed for Reflect. So we're going to need to look for, oh, there we go.
Looks like we finally hit some pay dirt there. Gee, I almost want to go back and just knock out 3 and 6 right now.
You're going to have to look for items as well. You're going to need the trophy, the medicine, or the kid.
3 is not a bad palace at all, though.
No, there's not a lot of rooms, and you're going in the direction of the boss.
6, you know, not the greatest palace in the world, but 5, man, I just noticed that he actually just dove right into Palace 5. That's an interesting choice there.
He's right now on his mind. The only thing he's thinking of is there's some guy that says the glove is always in 5, and I'm going to go find it.
Well, you shouldn't listen to what Larry says, because the glove's not in 5.
I didn't call him out by name. But it'd be interesting if he does arrive upon something else that's going to help tilt things in his favor later on in the race. A magic key, maybe, even though Joshy has fairy and like all the magic in the world. That's probably unlikely. But the right spell item for Reflect might be the thing here that BGT will need to make this journey worth it. As we can see, the Nerm Drippers don't really provide any XP for our runners on this seed.
Looks like we got a Palace 2 on Joshy D's side, which is a pretty good palace to find right about now. What palaces haven't we seen yet? I think the only one we haven't seen is Great Palace, right? So it's in the valley?
Yes. Because 4 is north on the west, where we have 2 here. And Maze Island was... Five was Maze Island?
Yep, that's where BGT is right now.
Yeah, so...
No, seen them all. Except for Great Palace, but...
Is there a role for Great Palace being where it normally is? Does it roll yes or no, and then... Or is it like a 1 in 7 chance?
Yeah, it's just a 1 in 7 chance. And actually, I think it's been getting there more than 1 in 7 recently, but that's just how the rolls have been coming out so far.
I wonder if BGC is going to look for a dripper enemy to see if he can get some XP, but then he moves on.
Yeah, so we know a fair number of the items in this game, actually. What don't we know? 2, 4, and 5. Well, I guess 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and... Did we find a desert tile?
No desert tile, no water tile. Both items in Death Mountain, Heart Container Cave on the west, and then, like you said, Palace is 2 to 6.
Yeah, so still lots of places, actually. for those spell items to be. They're gonna have to find at least one of them. And what do you think about BGT in Palace 5, Larry? I'm surprised that he's managed to Palace.
Oh, he's not going to go anywhere now. Oh, maybe he is. Maybe he's not. He doesn't know what he's doing. But I tell you what, like, if I found 5, being how races have been going lately, when we run them pretty much nightly, like, I don't think I would have turned around either. Knowing that there's nothing around for days that you found so far, I might have taken the chance of, like, well, what if the item is quick, 1, or 2, very important in here, and it's good. My opponent's going to take for the rest of the seed, collecting all the rest of the items before he even attempts it. It's a huge risk-reward kind of situation in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, just the fact that he hasn't been key blocked yet is amazing to me.
He collected quite a few keys in 5 already. If I saw.
Well, there are certainly a lot of keys, although some of them you need the glove to get to. But he has the jump spell, which gets him a few keys as well. And here,
I mean, he's going to have to try the eco key strategy here if he wants to do it.
It looks like he might for real be.
Well, he doesn't have fairy.
Try it.
Yeah, it's the only way he's got to be able to do this. Oh, very nice, BGT. I'm proud of him for that. I'm not going to make fun of him for the rest of the night because of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow. Practice that, or if he was just messing around and was like,
Jesus Christ.
Somebody clip that. That's
that's legend right there.
Joshy D finding the cross, which, you know, it's not terrible, honestly.
I mean, yes, now it is, because he's already been in both P-bag caves. One of them being very devastating with invisible moas, if you're not, if you're not careful. And where else is that cross going to be useful right now, where it couldn't have been something else? You know what I mean? Another item. So I'd be pretty upset with the cross at this point, knowing where the places Joshy D has been already on the Eastern Continent.
And look at this, BGT's finding the item in 5, so that's presumably what he was after.
And it's the magic key. Like I said, it could be something that could help him out a lot, except for the fact that Joshy D has fairy and all the magic containers, so.
You have to consider too is that the odds of Joshy D digging the item out of 5, I think would be pretty small. Unless, Goomba happens to be right around the corner anyway, then he's not going to come this way, most likely.
Well, I mean, it depends on what spell items he's arrived on so far and if he has Reflect or not.
That magic key will be useful, though, no doubt. Will it be enough? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But that eco key, though, gotta give him props for that. It's Joshy D finishes up Palace 2. Let's see where he goes next. What else can he even find over here? The only thing that he could find over here is the desert tile, I think. I mean, there's Valley of Death, but nothing he can do with that right now. Also interesting that BGT is not up 8 yet. He's looking for Gooma. He wants to do attack 4 Gooma.
I think more importantly, that's a life 3 Gooma. On top of that, Joshy D up A's.
That decision right now. Go clear 3 and 6.
Still have a nice little puzzle here if it presents itself with the hammer in the mix and reflect spell item being somewhere. It may require them going into 4 to grab the hammer for a spell item that gives you reflect, or the spell item to give you reflect. Totally against, you know, normal meta and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Here we go, Joshy's gonna go in. Gooma time.
Wow. Ballsy move here by BGT. You gotta give him props, especially if he gets this Gooma fight taken care of.
I mean, that's what the B in BGT stands for.
I'm out by having lower HP than normal, too, so...
He's trying to knock him over to the edge. Oh, and he runs right into him.
Hit at life 3. Joshy D here, just finding Rebenak right away. Yeah, he can't take a hit at life 3, but he... Couple.
Joshy's going to go back for those that 3 XP right there. How far back will he have to go to get it? He's going to thunder something.
He wants the item too. BGT, man, mad props to BGT for clearing out Palace 5 the way that he did.
And BGT's also going to try to get his, whatever it is now, 12 XP.
And that's, I mean, that's really good for him because he doesn't have to go back to Maze Island now. So he's just good to go. You see, Joshy D presumably will have better levels, may or may not look for the item in 5. So Joshy D as well.
What's the other Joshy D Palace I missed? Did he beat Helmet Head, right?
Yeah, Palace 2.
Okay.
And we see him go back in for the item. I'm not surprised at all that he's doing that. Choice, I think. So if you're BGT, where you're going, I guess you're probably trying to take the, he did. Find those spells and those items, and maybe the glove even.
So Joshy D here, and I just did a little math. It's you know, it was pretty hard for me to do this. He can cast Fairy 3 times while BGT has the magic key. And you kind of think it's not going to affect Joshy D too much because 3 Fairy casts is pretty good. You'll get keys in between as well. But he does have to take an intentional death here to do it, to get enough magic for the item. But he's going to up A, but that's just maybe foreshadowing in the future Palace 6 or something.
Or Palace 4.
Yeah.
It has a lot of key doors in it.
You got the trophy. Is the trophy going to be Reflect?
It's right by this palace, I think, so we'll find out pretty soon here. BGT is in Kasuto, but he does not have the spell, which is what was required to grab the glove, so he's only going to be able to get the magic container for now. I bet we'll see him go back once he finds the spell. Joshy D not finding the spell he was looking for, so we still need to dig out another spell item.
What was the spell? Sorry.
It was the shield spell.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, the 2 spells that are left, Reflect, obviously will work just fine. Fire could also potentially work, depending on what it's paired with, so... And he's looking for 6, seems like, but 6 is down south near Stark, kind of. You think he's gonna dig the item out of 6 as well?
It's a tough question because you might arrive on the item room first. So to say you're gonna go a little bit extra, you may just find it. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, if he finds Barba, then I guess the question remains: is he going to go back or jump back in and try to find it? Maybe I wouldn't at that time, but certainly I might be peeking in. Well, you're going to be going right anyway, so you're going to hope you arrive on the item room before Barba.
Still kind of interesting with him because he has not yet found the glove, which I believe was actually required to Palace 2, which is where he currently is. So, you know, he's only going to be able to explore a little bit of this palace.
No, but there's also the item in 2 that he might also be looking for at the same time, hoping it is the glove if he does get blocked.
Heading into 6. The good news for BGT is I think he's going to get blocked pretty quickly. He's not going to spend a lot of time before he gets stuck. But he is eventually going to get stuck. Correctly.
Oh, Joshy D gets knocked backwards into the hole. Hopefully a blessing in disguise if you're him.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. It's definitely frustrating.
And BGT doesn't make it out of that block area before he gets trapped. Has to reset the room. Joshy D, no keys, no magic.
Yeah, he just cast Thunder there too, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not throttling his magic. He's using all of it, and unfortunately, he needs to save some for the potential locked door on the other side of the room. And there's your glove block. Did BGT have an alternate way to go, or was that the way to both the item and the boss?
He did have one more path that he could take, but I think it's just going to be a dead end. I could be wrong about that, but that's the east side. Exactly what you were talking about, Larry.
Yeah, you need to hope you find the item on this one. On your way to Barba. If you need items, that is. Hey, there's still 2 heart containers out there.
Well,
That's good.
yeah, not what he was hoping for, but
Actually, you know what? Nah, it's not really. Well, possibly in Death Mountain.
opens up the water tile, which could have the thing that he needs.
Yeah, Water Tile and Death Mountain. So we know the Overworld doesn't really call for the boots, although maybe. He's gonna have to hope one of these Moas doesn't clip into the ceiling and drops the fire. Everybody up A's.
Might be going back for round 2 at the Canadian hole there.
And there's your dead end on BGT's side. He's gonna walk through it. Maybe he's gonna hope he can get to 450 and take whatever that is, or he just didn't realize it was a dead end. He's gonna walk back.
Well, I think it's time to go now if you're BGT. I guess to preserve his experience.
It is a horrible feeling when you duck into something and take a chance, and you're blocked. And you know, you're wasting all this time trying to find every available path, and none of them go where you need them to go. And you know you have to get out of there, but you're like, well, I'm here, and there's one other path. I guess I should check it. And next thing you know, you lose 20 minutes.
Well, it worked out for him in Palace 5, so...
Joshy D makes it on the other side of the Canadian hole room, and we're going to get a drop here. See if he's going to need Fairy. He's got the magic for it. And that's another thing with this palace, is you always want to keep your magic for the drop, where you need to cast Fairy, and for the room where you need the Fairy across the lava.
Bad, because you can always just take a sacrifice for that one. But the drop fairy is really unpleasant if you fly past that room and you don't have enough magic to cast it.
Yeah, and if you're aware you don't have the magic before you take the drop, it's always the next floor. When you take it's always there. You know it is.
BGT finding the town that he needed to find to get the spell. So he's probably going to head right back to his palace too, I would imagine. Joe picks up the glove.
So Joshy D cannot cast magic now. Cast Fairy.
No, he cannot, but it doesn't look like he needs to anymore.
Doesn't keep the screen moving, so Barbara's not guaranteed to appear in that third pit. Does so anyway. I get a kick out of that when Joshy just bails to the other side.
I was going to say, I don't think I've seen people do that before.
No. But I hate when Barba comes up that middle area. I always feel like I take hits. I don't know how to, for some reason, I become an idiot on how to time it. But that's his 4th gem compared to BGT's 2.
Lead. He does have 5 left, which is, you know, not the quickest palace in the world, and he still needs to find that reflect spell. But Joshi D's gotta. I'd put him in the lead here.
BGT is taking the glove right now, so things could get caught up in a little bit of a hurry if they take different paths and BGT arrives at the reflect spell item first. But he hasn't narrowed it down as much as Joshi D has. He doesn't have shield, which is in Rudo, because the trophy was in Palace 3, so...
Yeah, so if you're Joshi D, where do you look next? Do you make a beeline for the water tile? Do you head to Death Mountain? Palaces, and hoping that, I mean, I guess Palace 5 would be the only one that, well, you could get the item out of 4. You just don't like going in there without Reflect.
And 4 is by Death Mountain, right?
By the Raft spot.
Oh, by the Raft spot in the east, yeah.
East. Let's see what he does when he gets there. He hasn't found the desert tile yet either, so maybe with the boots he's thinking he can just pick up those 2 tiles and maybe they'll have what he needs.
That's a possibility. I gotta tell you what, if I was playing this and these items presented all these issues for me in the beginning, I'd probably be ranting about you for about 20 minutes. But I would also probably be doing against the meta kind of stuff, like jumping into 4, jumping into 5, doing Death Mountain. Just like trying to get something in my column.
Looks to me like he's going for the water tile. He saw it. South of where he is right now.
He's gonna do 5.
Is he gonna dig the item then, I guess is the question.
I mean, in your shoes, knowing how bad of a time you can have trying to find the item in 5, knowing you need a spell item and you've pulled a lot of items already, would you probably wouldn't be in 5 right now, but assuming you were, would you make sure you get the item, or would you quick search for Guma and then go?
And go. Although, what makes me hesitate is the fact that 5 is kind of a little hard to get to. Well, maybe not with the boots so much. How fast can I get back there if I need to is something to take into account. If far out of the way, then, you know, maybe I'll try to find the item while I'm here so I don't have to come back. And, you know, he's going left, so that sends a pretty clear indication of what his intentions are.
Does pick up the key on the ledge, which should help him out.
Remember, BGT didn't even have Fairy Spell, and he made it through this palace, so... Key problems with all the stuff that he's got.
I'm sorry, that's not going to help him out. I had him reverse, but they both have the magic key. Wait, does Joshi have the magic key? He should, right? Yeah.
No, it's in 5.
Oh, it is in 5.
And he has not... Yeah, he hasn't found the item yet. But,
BGT's tracker made me second guess myself because it's on under where it says Maze for Maze Island, but I guess it says that's his marker for where 5 was.
Got the item in 2, which is the cross. Is that right?
2 was the cross, yes.
And I think Joshy D is about to get the magic key, actually. He's... Any advantage the BGT had for the magic key is now gone. I can't tell if Joshy D is happy about that find or not. I mean, magic key is a good item. Not the one that he really needed, I guess.
We are running that
So
out
there's
of
a gem
options.
for...
I'm sorry, we're running out of options here. What does everyone think this... First of all, do you think it's going to be the medicine or the kid that's required for Reflect? And where will it be? I'm interested in thinking, of hearing where people think it might be. Place your bets now. Dig Shake.
I think Hammer will be on the water tile, and the kid will be under the Rock and Death Mountain.
That's a fun one. I like Hammer in 4, kid in Rock, Death Mountain.
You just like seeing people go into 4.
I mean, yeah.
It has happened. Not a lot, but it definitely has happened.
It's always fun to watch how people's minds work when they realize or when they decide to take a chance on the item that they need to beat a palace inside the palace.
And usually when that happens, it's always like right inside the door, and so then you start thinking, oh, great, everybody else is already
Yes.
me and is way ahead.
That's why I'm a big fan of jumping into 3 and 6 now, because if I can make a couple right turns and arrive myself at the item room, I feel pretty good about it when I see it instantly, because I always feel like if it is a required item, the path to the item room will be pretty easy to get to. But then I'll also spend about 20 minutes in it forcing myself to look for an item room I could possibly not get to as well.
We still haven't seen the Valley of Death yet either. Or the Desert Tile, for that matter, so it could very easily just be...
And you can confirm.
Tile.
You can confirm we've seen the water tile.
Water Tile, we don't know what's in there. Okay. BGT was just walked past it a second ago, okay. Actually.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it on BGT's screen as well, because it's near a lava tile, I believe, which is just a reskinned color of the water tile on the ROM he's using.
Yep. Wow, Josh D being super aggressive.
I guess it's like that in the regular game too, right?
Exactly right. And
he's got to go back for that 119.
Bubble right outside the door, maybe he could try. drippers aren't going to do it.
20 experience point, dude. Right there. If he has a life left, I would just take a death there and, well, easily handled with attack 7. I didn't see he was at attack 7.
And the attack level is a lot of experience too. It's like 9,000, so he's gonna clean up on levels here once he places this gem.
But now he has the problem. He has one palace to beat and no way to beat it right now.
Nobody likes to be in that spot. You know, check the easy stuff first. I mean, water tiles nearby. Check that one first. See if you can find the desert tile. Because I mean, we're just running out of spots. To not take attack 8, just decides to start piling up on life and magic levels.
That's a good idea, because what if you find Carrick right away and you don't have the required XP to benefit from anything anyway? Might as well take the levels now when you guaranteed them and then just get what you get in the last one instead of forcing yourself to attack 8, and then what can you arrive at? Like 1 magic or life level at an early Carrick? And the decision if you have to grind or not?
Yep.
Josh D already got the item out of there.
It also just takes leveling off of your mind. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're just taking whatever you get at that point. So BGT looking for 6, I assume. Three.
Josh has the boots, so he finally realized it. I was going to say he wasn't getting up there in the water.
Yeah, I think he's close. He's heading in the right direction of the water tile, I think.
Oh, we'll see what's in there in a second. That's the candle key bag.
one final item to rub in his face, you know?
He's only 200 away from whatever his next level is anyway. 270.
That desert tile's still out there somewhere.
There was a little bit of an area in the southeast that had forest that I saw by... Yeah, I guess he's going there now. You couldn't access it with the boots, but I saw it peeking out of there from behind the mountains. I wonder if it's in there.
We need Valley of Death still, too, so...
Is this going to be a big U-turn? Yes, it is. So there's still that lower eastern area. I wonder if that's cave accessible or something can generate with no way to get there, right?
It's possible.
Okay. As long as nothing is on it that you need to do.
Well...
Wow. If you're Joshy D right now, and I guess BGT too, you gotta feel like you have no luck in the world.
Well, we're down to 4 spots, only 2 of which are currently accessible. So that really limits your options. We know one of those 4 obviously has the hammer. And 2 spell items, and that's it. Take Death Mountain?
We have 5, right? 5, because the heart container cave as well.
I thought I counted 2 on Death Mountain, 1 in Palace 4, and the Heart Container Cave are the only 4, I think. Am I missing one?
What was... Oh, 3 was trophy. I'm sorry. I have like 6 different sheets here. I'm marking stuff in. That's where the confusion is coming from. So trophy, yeah. 4 heart container... 4 and hammer cave, which can contain the hammer. And then the rock and heart container cave. He's in Death Mountain. Here we go.
I move.
Well, if you're absolutely afraid of going into 4 without having the means to beat it, I guess this is your only choice right here.
He does have the boots, so that'll help exploration-wise at least.
Only gets you so far, and then you gotta make a decision if you don't arrive on the hammer cave. So do you do what I like to do here is you find one of the ways you can get out, exit from 3 other areas.
The elevator ones?
Yeah.
Mean? Yeah, I prefer those because you can get around a lot faster.
Yeah, because I believe with the new Overworld logic, that was somewhere in like 2 point whatever. Just Death Mountain creates a lot of big areas now with multiple caves instead of many smaller segmented ones. So that, you find one of those elevator passages. If you don't find Hammer Cave in any of those exits, you can probably find another elevator passage to then get you out to a new area.
Yeah, it varies a little bit. I've still had some pretty claustrophobic Death Mountains, which I think are worse, actually.
Worse than they were before? Or worse than...
More open ones in terms of getting around and
yes.
finding stuff. GT took out 3 and is grabbing the shield spell. I don't think he did 6 yet.
No, he did not. Well, Joshy's going to have to make a decision here soon.
Yeah, he's checking everything twice.
He was trying to backtrack to one he had in his mind to go through, or maybe he didn't realize he cleared out all the areas. And maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't go through this area right here. But he's got to go through one of them, so he might as well go through the one he's in.
Seen the other side of this one already? Oh, I guess I wasn't paying enough attention.
No, we saw the other side of it. Well, he has options here. He's going to go up. One of the things you do have to try to track in your mind, if you're able to do it, is what side of what caves have you seen? So that if you arrive upon a new cave, if I pass through this one, it's guaranteed to bring me somewhere I haven't been before. But that's kind of hard to do sometimes.
And made even more difficult by the fact that there's duplicates of some of the caves.
I know there are only a few in my mind I like to pick out, like the bridge ones with the lava, the ones you jump over with the lava, and the ones that are kind of have like the jump. They kind of look like a half-height hammer cave, where the enemies are inside of things like the magic container cave, like little one-tile bunkers. Like, I like to remember where those are and how many I've seen. But he's been through this side already, because I remember him. I remember the diver there, and he's right back to where he was. And if he goes into that cave, he's been through this cave already as well. So now he's got to pick a different cave. And sometimes I find myself doing that. A long time ago, I definitely did. Just keep looping through the same 3 caves over and over.
Yeah, well, paying attention to the enemies helps to determine whether you've taken a cave or not in the past.
Yeah, bots and Mews will respawn, but if you leave Death Mountain and come back into Death Mountain, everything respawns, so...
Yeah, that's not good if you're trying to...
Well, Super Bright 6 is on its way for BGT.
It's bright, and there he goes, out of Death Mountain.
That is a hot flash pink right there. Gwyn McEwen would be proud. Sorry, Vicky McEwen. I already forgot her name, Dig Shake.
Shelly Jameson, though.
What was that?
I bet you didn't forget about Shelly Jameson, though.
Oh, who can? If you had to pick, like, your, I would say, top 3 least favorite rooms in palaces, why would this be number 1?
Those darn floating dog heads are just terrible. Or dragon heads, or whatever you want to call them.
You won't believe what number 2 is.
Ooh, Joshy D, you gotta feel bad for him. He's wandering.
When he's gone through the elevator rooms, has he gone back into the same one and gone out a different exit, or did he just go through one and then go through another cave in another area?
Just kept going.
Yeah.
It's looking now like there might be some sort of magic cave that you have to find. Hammer cave.
Well, he still hasn't accessed the area with the rock. Am I wrong?
The rock actually was right by start, I believe.
Was it? Okay. I knew it was visible. I didn't know you could walk around. Maybe it just wasn't on the screen accessible, but if you moved, I guess maybe it was.
Yeah, the area he's in right now is a new area, so I think the odds of Hammer being here are pretty high. Because he can't have many capes left at this point.
And there we go.
All right, chat. So what do you think? We got 4 options: heart container, a hammer, a bottle of medicine, or a kid. What's it going to be? The obvious one, of course, would be the heart container, which it certainly could be. Terrible.
I have a feeling that fire would cast either fairy or possibly reflect at this point. I don't know if I've noticed them casting life, and well, I guess we would have known if they cast life and it was fire. But I think fire is narrowed down to reflect and the other one, fairy.
Well, there we have it. Got ourselves a hammer, so we're going to be going to check those spots, most likely. Settle this once and for all.
BGT did not get the item in 6, and knowing he needs a spell item, he's going back for it. Does he know he needs a spell item? Yes, he does. He does take magic attack 8.
Oh, he's got... Oh, he also only has Palace 4 left, so...
I mean, really, at this point in time, Josh D has a lead in the race for the item, but that's really what it's coming down to: heart container and heart container cave.
Yep.
So we have 2 more spots left here. Did Joshy didn't go back to to the rock in Death Mountain, right? Because it was probably far from where he was. He up 8.
Easier for him to just obey
Yeah.
and pop in and grab it.
Well, it's not only is it 50-50 which one do you go to, retrieve it out of 4 in hopes it's the one you need to complete 4, but it's 50-50 on what it gives you as well, and then possibly 50-50 if it's fire, whether it's reflect also. So many coin flips are happening right now.
Find out. Once he cashes in this medicine, we're gonna know everything that there is to know about this seed.
And it only took an hour and 33 minutes.
All right, chat. What's it gonna be? Fire or reflect? Get your votes in. Looks like BGT's about to pick up the boots here, so
It's not a laughing situation yet. Hopefully he checks it to see what it is.
yeah, reflect is kind of a tricky one to check.
Well, it wasn't fairy,
No?
and when people use thunder, it wasn't. I think it's got to be reflect. The only other thing it could be is life, but again, if it was life, we probably would have noticed fire a lot earlier, because it does the reverse as well. Whatever it's paired with, that spell will also cast fire. Yeah, so I think not being fairy, I think it's reflect, and because it's not thunder, because we've seen them use thunder and use their sword.
We're gonna find out one way or another. If it's something else, that means that the kid, which is in Palace 4, actually will get you reflect. And they're pretty close together to bring you in Palace 4, so not the worst thing that could happen, but certainly annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely has to be reflect, because all the other spells it could possibly be, he wasn't jump because he wasn't jumping high. His tunic didn't change color. They've used life and thunder before. He didn't turn into a fairy. And
Yeah,
spell, I guess, is the only thing it could be.
you're
Yeah,
right.
Spell.
He just
Double A just said that. Yeah.
He just cast it in the swamp, and nothing turned into a bot, and his life didn't go up. So I think you're right. I think it is reflect.
Yeah.
He's probably trying to find an encounter to prove it right now. Fireball or a mace would do the trick.
I needs this idiot to cast fire on him, but it's not working. He's gonna take the chance. Why not? Do knocker or something on the way. Would definitely prove that.
Herrock, right by the front door here. You can cast it a whole bunch of times.
It's a benefit of taking all those levels too, other than dumping it into attack 8, because who knows what fire would have cost. He probably would have been on Magic 4, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Still castable, I'm sure, but he can afford to do other things now. Yep, there you go. It is reflect.
Means Joshy D is full on dig shake.
I thought it was full dig shake.
Shake?
I've heard it both ways. BGT picks up the desert tile heart container.
Thinking about Death Mountain himself right now, I would think. Which,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, is not required. We know that the kid is at 4, and so if you just duck into 4...
And then duck back out when you find the kid. He's back. He's down to those same options of which 4 places could this item be that Joshy D was at about 10-15 minutes ago.
And we still have not found Valley of Death either, so...
Is it possible Maze Island wrote over Valley of Death?
No.
All right, I'm just throwing that out there. Is that Valley of Death, though? Right on his screen there? PGT?
Yes, it is. I don't know how you get there, but that's it.
Full-on Walter Fopp. That's what I like. Guy's a legend. Do you know Walter Fopp's pant size?
No, I don't. What is it?
32.75. He can't find them in stores. That's why he doesn't wear any.
Trying to go around the end there. I'm not sure what he's looking for. He's found both P-Bag Caves, I think.
Hey,
He's found...
Hey, maybe he just forgot where 4 is, and he's trying to take a chance on 4 and went completely in the opposite direction of it. Because it was right by start, was it not? Right by the raft spot? There's absolutely nothing he can find on this side. He found everything. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was just going to say Joshy D left the kid there to rot. That was the last item. And the kid's staying there.
Yeah, BGT has found every palace. He's walked into every palace, found every town, got the spell from every town except for the one he needs the kid for, and hit all the caves and the tiles. So the only thing he can be doing right now is trying to remember where 4 is. But Joshy D is inching closer to the 6th gem.
Yeah. I mean, getting to 4 would be a really great play, honestly, because... Or at least is one of the places that he could go. Probably the faster of the 2 options.
Joshy D casts fire, and here we go.
Rock, but... I'll do it for Joshy D. He's just got to find the Great Palace.
Is Joshy D drinking Squirt Zero? I'm writing that down. I'm asking him after the race. Yeah, I have to wonder here with what BGT is trying to do. Maybe he just wanted to find the way to Valley of Death, mix it up a little bit, so at least he knows where to go. Feel like he's doing something towards completing the seed.
Maybe. Look, it looked like you did need to take a cave to get there, so... But Joshy D is going to need to start taking some caves here.
I didn't see where the origin side of that cave was. Joshy D's walking like a mission right now. Fire is reflect.
So BGT is headed.
Probably
Maybe.
Death Mountain.
Yeah, trying to remember where Death Mountain is.
Of the two spots he has to check with it, since he doesn't have the hammer, both are a piece of the puzzle, in a sense. There's not a wrong decision here to make. One's going to take one more step than the other. Actually, yeah, it does take one more step than the other because you got to get the hammer in Hammer Cave to then get the kid in Spectacle Rock. If he was to take a chance in 4, it's just straight up kid. I'm sorry, the medicine in Spectacle Rock.
That is an interesting point that it worked out like that, where you get to the.
Oh, you're right. There's the boulder right there. I would like to compare how long it takes BGT in Death Mountain versus Joshy D, but that's like one of those things that I'm not too sure that this is even going to factor into a decision here in the race. Joshy D just has to find the Valley of Death and do Great Palace. BGT has to find what is going to be the hammer to then arrive at getting the medicine, then to determine that fire is reflect, and then beat 4. Certainly many steps in the process for BGT to catch up here. Probably too many, right, Dig Shake?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Joshy D would need to have a pretty bad Great Palace to let BGT back in this one, and his levels are pretty good, so. Not to mention he found every single container in the game. Where is that cave, though? I don't even know.
I feel like BGT was in the northeastern area tooling around, and then I look up and I found him in front of the Valley of Death. Yeah, I'm sorry. When I was saying where he's looking for a Palace 4 or just wandering around aimlessly, he was in the extreme northeast of the continent, I believe.
That Joshy D hasn't found, which is the one that's usually on the way to New Kasuto there.
Can you
It's looking a little frustrated.
Can you identify all 4 caves on their entrance?
Well, there are 2 of them that are very similar. And actually the third one that has the same room,
Right.
but is 2 screens longer. So I can identify I can identify at least, I think, 3 of the 4 just by looking at them. Sorry, I'm a little ahead.
That's okay. You're clipping, so no one heard it.
Oh, great. I'm still clipping? Man.
Yeah. The Discord auto clipping thing is garbage.
Offer?
Yeah, pretty much. Especially if you're using a mic that's, not specifically made to be right in front of your face.
So you just turned sensitivity down to nothing, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've only had bad results with that on the talking end and the listening end.
Hopefully that solves my problems.
Looks like Joshy D here is in, I would say, either the right area for Valley of Death.
Oh, he is. This is where BGT was.
Yeah.
So he's got it.
Not sure of his decision to bang in there, though, unless maybe he was looking for a little digger. But probably going to obey when he goes through this, because he's going to, yeah, he doesn't have magic or life. Meanwhile, in Death Mountain...
Yeah, BGT having just as hard of a time as Joshy D did.
Yeah, every time I look up, he's in that one area.
Didn't seem like. Here we go.
So it's worth noting for the first time, for us at least, in this tournament, that you do have to defeat Thunderbird to then find Dark Link. There is an available skip that is against the rules where you could possibly skip over a couple rooms in one of the rooms by taking damage boost onto a ceiling. That is not allowed, so you'll have to do this by defeating Thunderbird and then Dark Link. Both of them you'll find going to the right.
Actually, I think the strict interpretation of the rule is that you can do the skip as long as you kill Thunderbird before Dark Link. It doesn't matter how that happens, but you gotta kill Thunderbird before Dark Link.
And I believe I only know Link Sevens to be the only person to vocally say that he would try it. I'm not sure it happened.
I've seen Unos do it in the past with mixed. The thing about that skip is that I have not often seen it pay off. You have no idea where the heck you're coming out on the other side. Just biased because I don't know how the heck to do it, but it seems like more of a gamble than it's worth to me, based on the few times that I've seen people do it.
But Dark Link will always be behind Thunderbird's room and can never access without going through Thunderbird's room by normal means. And there exists 4 drop rooms in Great Palace, of which you can take after Thunderbird and arrive before Thunderbird. So you have potential of looping and potential of looping back without realizing it in an area where you have no chance of finding Dark Link, but not knowing you're there or not. BGT at least opts to get the medicine instead of trying to go to Heart Container Cave first.
And unfortunately for him, he's basically a Larry?
I heard nothing you said.
Are you mapping out GP right now?
I was, yes, and then I was distracted by the colorful flashing lights of BGT grabbing the hammer and the kid and the medicine. But it looks like Joshy went. Yep, okay, so I know exactly where it is. I think he looped already.
He up 8 at least once.
Oh, he up 8? Okay. Yeah, I think he's looping. I think that's a quick early loop from 2 different directions.
Yeah, that is loop. You're right.
It's nice and early, and that makes the available path through Great Palace very linear. He'll just go down by start and just keep going right.
So does BGT know that he picked up Reflect just now? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Is he doing the science that Joshy D did? Where he's casting it multiple times? Yeah, I mean, right now he knows it's not fairy, it's not spell, it's not life, jump, shield. The only thing it could really be is Reflect right there. Joshy D takes one of the 4 drops, and he's going to take a second of the 4 drops here. Let's see where this brings him out. Probably going to land on the one where you can go left or right. Yeah, there we go. So far as I know, this is the only area of Great Palace so far where there's an option.
This is...
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of those options is yet another drop. Looks like he's going to be taking it.
And he did not get upstab. Remember, he passed over upstab in Darunia and never went back because he never had the kid, and that brought up that question, what do you do? Do you get it without it, knowing you don't have to come back, that whole thing? He does not have upstab is the point of that story.
Yep.
So he had to find other means. You can get upstairs blocked in Great Palace. That is a thing if you arrive at one of the rooms from a different direction. Although, conflicting reports, or at least people saying guaranteed no, guaranteed yes, if you can do it with a combination of jumping to break the blocks and then casting jump to break further blocks. So, it might not be a full...
Good man, Joshy D. Walk right on through that room.
I no-sold it for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Hope I get a few dig shake points there. But by not taking that drop, Joshy D arrives on Thunderbird. And there were quite a few rooms before Thunderbird with a drop and a direction in the other way. So there's a possibility of Darklink being in the next room for the 3rd race in a row.
Possible. I think there's still a fair number of rooms left, though.
Oh, did he see that?
How many
destination?
dead ends have we seen?
Okay.
2?
Well, Double A says he's seen the dead end that split the split level one earlier, I guess, in the palace. That was probably when I was watching BGT with the hammer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that would have looped him back then. Joshy D had a good T-Bird fight right there. Kept his nose clean. Got that pendulum going. And now it's, here we go. Time to look for Darklink.
That there is a short Great Palace.
Well, you had to go left in the first room, and it was short. But you had to take a little time to arrive at needing to do that left. But 3rd race out of 3 in this tournament so far, I believe, where Darklink has been in the room directly after Thunderbird. And that absolutely can happen.
Yeah, that trend's not going to continue forever.
A couple more stabs here. Still a couple more stabs, and there you go. Joshy D wins the BGT versus Joshy D 4 matchup.
Yeah, he was talking crap all day and backed it up, so...
He's probably going to go grab a Squirt Zero and join us here in a few seconds. Sub 2 hours, we have to ask him if that's a PB. So is that 2 apiece now? Because they went 1-1 in roller games, and BGT won the wacky races. So I think this is 2-2, right?
Yeah, they're all tied up. That is correct.
How do we settle this tiebreaker?
Sure, we'll find a way. And they could very well meet again in this tournament. That's something that's possible. Not the last we're going to see of the Joshi D BGT rivalry, though.
Well, with the new version of the Summertime Hot Invitational Tournament, there could be a chance to get relegated into 2 different leagues the next month after. So we'll talk more about that at a more relevant time, I guess. But Summertime Hot Invitational Tournament plug. Hope you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I love the name. You had to know that name was sticking when you did it.
I was just in a hurry. I was trying to get out the door.
It was
so.
pretty good.
Is Joshi D going to join us here?
He does. He's got to hook up these old-time radio equipment, set the knobs, set the dials, crank it up. Continue to watch BGT here, though. What is up with BGT's timer?
Wondering that myself. I think he might be trolling us. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I have no idea.
I'm trying to find a pattern in it as well, and like, it's at 3 hours and 73 minutes right now, and I don't know any place in the world that does that. Not even California.
Joshi D, congratulations.
Jesus Christ, man. What?
Walter Fopp.
I don't. Okay, so Larry, I've been seeing that all day. I have no idea what.
Oh, it's
what
great.
Okay. Anything more?
I mean, like, I can't even give it justice. You just got to see it. It's
Okay,
it's in the Discord. There's a channel.
Well, yeah. I mean, I saw that there was a channel. I thought it was some kind of. Probably is. I'm gonna check out Bentglasstube's Twitch real quick. Dude, this was so hard. This was such a pain. Everything was a pain in the ass.
It was a pretty trolly seed, yeah. Which part did you feel was the trolliest out of that seed?
What? Well, I guess it took a long time to deal with keys, like locked doors. Like there was a long time before I got fairy, so I was just like running around like crazy trying to find, because like there was all these palaces I could go into, but I knew that I would just get key blocked, and so it took a while to get fairy, and then just finding reflect was super stupid. In fact, we never found. I mean, I guess BGT never found reflect either. We ended up getting fire out of goddamn Death Mountain.
Yeah.
How did you see it? Because it's so hard to know like what the decision making is when you're playing, and especially like I usually play these like kind of casually at home. I take my time and I'm like in someone else's chat, but like in the fever of like I need to just do the next thing that has the highest percentage chance I think of progressing the game. Like in that kind of determination, I think it's easy to lose sight of like the bigger picture and mistakes that we might be making.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird perspective here from the booth, because there were a couple times where we knew that you were making
a really bad decision
choice, but you had no way of knowing that you were making the wrong choice. So
yeah, what is this graphics that BGT has? Like, why does his mountains look so weird?
Dragon Warrior Overworld. That's what it is.
Oh, that's so chill. That's really great. So obviously, like going back into 1 a couple times was super dumb and hilarious. Like that was.
Those early items in particular were just complete garbage. All the P bags and 1-ups that you found.
Oh, Yeah, it seemed like there was a long time before any useful item like materialized. Like
There really was.
all the palaces had total bullshit in them.
Well, there was the raft in Medicine Cave that you both game overed in right to start the race.
Yeah, those two goddamn gorillas.
3 of them, right? 3 blue gorillas.
Yeah, there might have been.
Yeah.
That was so stupid.
So in between the raft, the next available item you got was, I believe, it was the glove out of New Kasuto.
Yeah, hella far away.
And it was just pea bags and little diggers in between, and containers.
The whole time I'm like, dude, BGT, like, he went into Death Mountain. He's like, he's finding all this stuff. He's getting ahead. It seemed like you had to go to the ends of the goddamn earth just to start playing. Because, like, I looked and it was like 50 minutes in, and, like, finally, I was going to do the second palace.
BGT did do some cool stuff, namely he went into Palace 5 like pretty darn early without Fairy.
Oh, what a badass.
The Eco Key, like straight up legit did Eco Key in Palace 5. So
ooh, you know what I almost did? I almost queued up Jump and went and stood in the place just to make you guys think I was going to do Eco Key. But I guess I'm glad I didn't, because he actually did it and I would have looked like just a total dumbass.
that would have been hilarious, actually. It was a missed opportunity.
No way Joshy D knows how to do Eco Key.
No, the BGT knew how to do Eco Key. I can't wait to ask him about that.
I'm shocked. That's amazing. Okay, so he's right behind. Yeah. So he's going to Valley definitely, which, like, I was so scared, like, when it was time to go there, because, like, I have no fucking idea where I've not seen it the whole time.
Yeah, it was kind of out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I feel that, like, I feel like my combat was okay. The palaces weren't all that bad. I think that, like, Palace 1 was really stupid, but, like, given how weird and, like, given how, like, there was nothing to go on, and you just had to, like, look for something that was going to move the game along, I don't feel too bad. I feel like I did all right.
You won. You shouldn't feel bad. You should feel awesome.
Yeah, well, no, I do, but, like, I mean, no one wants to be, like, participating in a 2-hour race that's being commentated. Like, that's a long. It feels really long.
Well, I mean, we broadcast you playing roller games, so we're used to 2 hours races.
Oh, Larry, you cock. Can I say cock?
Well, you already said much worse than that already, so feel free.
Yeah, I really like BGT. He's a stand-up guy. I love that we have this rivalry of, like, two guys who aren't very good at any of the games they play. I think if either of us were, like, really competitive or actually good, it would seem horrible to kind of antagonize each other. But I like that, like, we seem to, like, be pretty competitive. Like this is not, like, he's only going into Great Palace, a couple minutes after I got in there. So GP wasn't that bad.
No, you had that early
yeah,
loop,
it seemed pretty...
and then you went left, and then basically dropped right into Thunderbird's room. When you were in the Eon room, you knew it looped back, so you didn't take it, or were you peeking right?
I wanted to put, my stuff on the table and show Dig Shake, like, how it's done. And I'm so glad I didn't, because that would have.
Oh,
really...
so you didn't know it looped you all the way back, because it did.
Oh.
Apparently, you seen the room you would have fell into early.
Oh, okay.
So.
No, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah, BGT's in it right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so when I got onto that bridge, I really, really wanted to take the drop, and that would have been really stupid, because, like, right across the way is Thunderbird. But,
I never would have let you forget that.
No, and I almost took. I wanted to, like, type into the SRL chat, like, sorry Dig Shake for like taunting you so much, and then, like, it was, you have the correct advice, but then I thought that'd be cluing BGT into something.
Well, apology accepted.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's the right thing to do. I always want people to I always want people to take it because like when it works, it's so great. But there's it's never the safe bet. It's never the right bet.
Well, how does this sound, Joshy D? At 1-0, going into the second round of the Swiss format, you're going to be playing another 1-0 player. Does it make you feel good to be on the winning side of things right now?
I feel a little bit like a fish out of water. This is kind of like Harry and the Hendersons. But yeah, it's cool. Like I don't want to have the worst record in any tournament that I go into. Like I am playing just for fun, but I don't want people to think like, well, why does this guy who loses all the time keep like entering into tournaments and wasting people's time? So yeah, no,
We're glad that does that, because then we don't have to worry about being the ultimate loser.
There's a thing that I really do believe that like you just have to like just don't be the worst person in the room. Like you don't have to be good at your job or as long as you're not the worst person there. That's coverage. So to be good enough just to not stick out as the major liability. But that's good life advice, kids.
Everybody write that down.
Yeah. I took notes too. Buzz Thunder, like check this shit out, dude. I've never mapped a goddamn Great Palace in my life, but I went ahead and did that. I took some notes on the Overworld, which came in really useful. I didn't remember where Palace like 6 was, but
no, it's really useful. Buzz was taking notes for 2 hours and 14 minutes last night.
What happened to him? I heard that did he quit out of a race, or did he just have a bad seed or something? There's allusions in the Discord to him having a bad time.
He didn't listen to Dig Shake, and Dig Shake then found out. He was trying to emulate Dig Shake because he was trying to go faster, and then Dig Shake said something like mid-race, and like near the end of the race at the last item he was arriving upon, it was with where Dig Shake called it out at, like an hour before that. So it was pretty good. But I need to hold on, kwtf.net. BGT has arrived to figuring out that was a big loop at start and has gone left. Now he's in a series of the drop rooms on his way to Thunderbird. Let's see how he handles the Eon room, though, and see if he does recognize that it is going to loop back, kwtf.net.
Yeah. If people want to listen to all the hottest new music, you can go to kwtf.net, streaming 24 hours a day. It's a community radio for Sonoma County and the world.
Nice
Listeners,
plug.
Yeah, absolutely. What's his level? Oh, he got So, I mean, I don't know how like you could not have like really like humongous levels in every goddamn container. Like this stupid. Please drop. Oh my god.
What, you were against the guy you've already beat?
No, I'll kiss him on the mouth if he does it. It'll be so ballsy.
I don't know. He just did some fairy skip magic there. I'm not too sure what he was doing, but we have 2 questions in chat for you.
He's been
Josh.
watching the cast. What is he doing?
We have 2 questions in chat for you, Joshy D. First one being, are you drinking a Squirt Zero right now?
No. I'm drinking Ito and unsweetened green tea. I have a vending machine, and I stock it with green tea and coconut water.
And the other thing is, I have to ask you about Echo, the dolphin.
I'm really excited for it. Like, I honestly, I don't know like where the idea came that this is a punishment game. Like, I haven't played it since I was 10. So I don't remember if it's good or not, but I don't know it to have a reputation of being like a real humiliation stream-worthy game. So I think it's just one of Buzz's strange predilections of just wanting to watch someone play a dolphin game.
It's pretty bad.
But it's going to be great. I'm going to try to put on a show for you guys. I feel like you guys earned it by being successful in the tournament, and I don't want to let you down. So tune in this Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, here we go. Darklink fight.
So how does it feel to be even up the series at 2-2?
Well, I really was worried that like this rivalry would turn into like a really sad thing. 'Cause I used to do a monthly race with Frisky89, a Canadian streamer, and he would just whoop my ass every month, and it got to be really sad. That like I'm gonna go, well, why are we even bothering to race when he's just gonna smoke me all the time? So I'm glad that I found someone who's a bit more my size, and he was trying to mouth off, so I stuck his head in the toilet and flushed it, and everyone laughed.
Whoa, he was trying to mouth off.
Yeah, dude, he was popping off. Like, oh, Josh, like, totally
I'm sure it was unprovoked.
Yeah. Oh, look at him falling
Wow.
like a badass.
By the way, he gets minus 15 minutes for Eco Key and minus 20 if he's able to pull this off.
Yeah, this is gonna be sick. Dude, error earlier in the the race earlier tonight. It's such a joy to watch someone from the all keys speed running and a champion like he is do a randomizer, because like the decisions you can make are completely different when you don't need like a lot of life. Like when you can combat your way out of stuff, it's just really cool to see like a different take on it, and in particular like his rad Rebanak fight and sick jackhammers. Like I feel like there's been like a lot of fun combat tonight, and I really do appreciate BGT fighting Dark Link honest like that. Because I'm not gonna do it. So someone's got to bring the entertainment.
Yeah.
Like my chumpy Barba fight, the pathetic. I only know how to fight Barba when she's on my right, which is only like one position. Like I don't know how to fight to the left. It's really weird. Like I can get four hits per cycle if she's on my left or on my right. Weird. So stupid. Like I can get.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey, BGT! Congratulations, you made it. What's up, dude?
I did.
Dude, what a pile of crap this seed was, wasn't it?
It was really bad.
Really?
The only item I didn't get was whatever was in the heart container cave.
Yeah, I think I got every single item in the game. Like I had full.
You didn't
full
touch the
jars.
kid.
Oh no, never found the kid.
No, you found him. You
before.
didn't grab him.
I grabbed him
yeah.
just because I was pissed, and I
Yeah,
had already lost, so fuck it. I mean, heck with it.
Yeah, no, I turned around because I was too proud to get that. I was so mad at that point, and like we'd already gotten the fire spell, so we knew what the hell it was. But besides that,
Hey, can we
really...
talk about Eco Key for a second here, BGT?
Dude,
So let's talk about it. I did it. That was the first time I ever tried. Not my first try, because it took me 2 tries to get it. But so I'm not quite,
That was your
at
first
JBT
attempt.
levels.
That was your first attempt at doing it ever?
I didn't have fairy, and I said, you know what? There's a way to get there without fairy. Let's try it.
dude, that's so sick.
Nailed it.
You just watch, because even people in speedruns who know what they're doing don't they don't get it all the time, not by a long shot. That's rad.
What is this super jump you speak of?
In Darunia to get up stab.
Oh, okay, through the clipping through. Okay, and then
Because I didn't have fairy then either.
and then you also fought Dark Link legit. So basically, you're saying you had a better run than Joshy D.
Worse run. It took me, according to my timer, 9 hours, 73 minutes, and 66 seconds.
Yeah, what is that thing? Why would you do that to us?
It's timer.
That's so great.
I want to steal Joshy D's no timer thing, so I decided to mix it up.
I really do hope that this starts just percolating through the speedrunning community, that people just decide that it's better to speedrun without timers, so you have no idea what your time really is. It just feels fast. Like I feel like I was faster than BGT tonight.
Put some racing stripes on your layout, and you'll feel even faster.
Oh yeah, no, you need speed holes. That's how you do it.
Some flames going up and down the left to the right, top and bottom, NASCAR style. I'd be like, yeah, your car feels fast because you have those decals on it.
Oh man,
but, 2 and
great.
2 between you, both of you. BGT, how you handling Joshy D tying up the series between you two?
I mean, I guess that just means I'll have to face off against him again. So I'm pretty happy actually that it's back to tied.
If you can pick one game that you would play him with, heads up, one-on-one IRL, what would it be?
IRL. Oh man. I don't know.
That doesn't
Oh,
give
the
me
dolphin?
anything.
Final Fantasy 1 randomizer because I'm really good at that one.
Do you know it took you longer to do Final Fantasy 1 randomizer than the trilogy race, Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Zelda 3?
Only barely though.
Only barely. Like, the times were very oddly very close. It was amazing because I was going through your history because I stalk everybody on SRL, speedrunslive.com, but I was looking to see if there was any big time Zelda 2 race with, more than a head-to-head that you guys have run in the past, and you guys have never met up in any race in Zelda 2. This was your first randomizer race together. So I wanted to see if there was a history backlog of that as well, but there wasn't.
Well, I don't see Joshy in the rando races too much.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's just that I'm busy during the weekdays, and I I don't stream from home, so I can't unless I'm down here in the basement, I can't actually get into a race. So I kind of have to schedule a weekend day, oh, I'm going to do a couple of races and hang out and do them. So it's less convenient for me to hop in, but I'm usually playing a randomizer every night, when I'm home, just for fun.
Couple more questions here before we wrap this up. Legitimate questions.
Yeah, definitely.
For a change. Joshy D, 1-0 going into the next round, knowing you're going to be playing somebody else who is 1-0. Is there any sort of practice on your mind that you feel like you want to do a little bit better?
No. Well, I don't know how much better I'm going to get, honestly. I mean, at some point, I would like to learn how to fight a blue iron knuckle for real. And I would want to do that, but I mean, otherwise it's just decision making and better mapping. I think my combat is okay without learning really high end strats. I don't feel like I think a lot of it's just decision making and maybe being more confident to dive into 5 like BGT did, because I think that something that slowed me down is that I didn't want to go into a place where I didn't feel really prepared. So I was really reluctant to go into any palace without a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I guess I just wouldn't want to be the person who's coming up against me, because it's going to be just a humiliation. So beware.
Tears to prepare.
Oh, sorry. yeah. If anyone didn't see in the Discord earlier, that was some quality trash talk.
And BGT, similar question to you. Is there anything anything you want to do better? Maybe not practice it, but going into the next race, is there anything that you did and you thought maybe I shouldn't do that next time?
I mean, I think a lot of the time I spent on this one was just the seed was I didn't find the items in a good order. So there's a lot of backtracking, but I wasted a bunch of time in going into P1 early and trying to get the item, which turned out to be a 1-up or something stupid.
Me too. Hey, besties.
I don't know. A lot of times I just run my head into a wall over and over if I try and do something that I'm not good enough to finish with the levels I'm at right then. Sometimes, I didn't write down where 6 or 4 were, so I kind of had to look for those for a while after I'd already found them once. Pretty quickly, but 6 I walked all around Western Hyrule for, so I should probably write things down more a little bit.
Well, how about let's turn the tables. The commentators. I mean, I'm sure we can watch the VOD, but what would you suggest for each of us is what did you see us doing poorly that you think would help if we corrected it before our next races?
No, you went to the website and you clicked enter tournament would be the first one. I would probably correct.
The fucking
And then-
shade. Damn. That's great.
I can't follow that up. That's
So that was probably mistake number 1. Mistake number 2. Well, no, actually, there's no mistakes because honestly, you're going to areas that have a legitimate chance to have the item you're looking for as the item you're not looking for. Well, I mean, relatively speaking, any item can be anywhere in like the
Yeah.
same sort of percentage, more or less. So you look for the item in one, and it turns out to be a one up. Well, big deal. It could have been the glove, and it would have been a great decision. You know what I mean? That's part of just randomizers in general. So when it comes to wasting time in one and finding the wrong item, well, what were you gonna do? Just skip one, just randomly, just because you felt like it? Like, there's no reason to not go get the item in one. You know what I mean? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have just got the item in one instead of leaving and coming back, because then you had to go round up some keys and then go do it. But still, if it had the item that you needed to progress, it was worth it. So who's to say that was really wrong, except knowing what the item is thereafter.
Yeah,
I was like
of course.
super stoked about the ego keying up and finding the item room in 5, and then it was the stupid magic key.
Well, I think
sometime probably, but like it was. If that had been the glove, I would have needed new pants.
The problem with you getting the magic key at that time is Joshy D had 8 magic containers, and was able to cast fairy 3 times over. But then still used all of his magic before he needed to cast fairy and had to die anyway.
I did that so many times where like I was mad at like some enemy in the room, so I thundered him and then realized that I didn't have.
Well, I mean, there's
The
probably
early thunder was nice.
Yeah.
There's probably a legitimate answer for you, Joshy. Have some, especially in Palace 6, have some MP in reserve for those 2 rooms you need fairy from, and when you don't have the magic key, so you don't have to keep. Could be long. It could be a long palace. You can't really rely on the suicide and being comfortable near the end. So if there was that one question you asked me,
Yeah.
I would say probably that. Conserve your magic a little bit more in Palace 6 without the magic key.
Yeah, I was very lustily casting thunder just like all over the place because I was so excited to have like all
why
of the
not?
magic fingers in the world.
You had unlimited magic, except then you needed it, so you didn't anymore. But yeah, thanks
Like
to both
that
of you.
thunder never dropped cost. The whole seed.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The start and 60 at. Well, I guess I only got to magic 6, but
It was 80.
or 80. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, thanks to both of you for doing this race and having a little fun with us while we have fun back with you guys. It is definitely one of these rivalries that I do want to see you guys play. Like, pretty much, I'd rather see you two have a rivalry night than Dig, Shake, and Buzz Thunder, who did not play a game tonight on
Wow.
rivalry night, by the way.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, Dig. I didn't realize you were still there. But thanks both of you for doing the race, allowing us to restream it, and for being in the tournament. So good luck to you guys next round.
Hey, one quick question for Joshy.
Yeah, buddy.
Undrop?
Oh wait, so sorry, you cut out.
Did you take the Eon drop?
Oh my god, I wanted to so bad. I wanted to, and then I didn't, and it was like, I mean, I'm so glad I didn't, because I would have looked like a total idiot. Especially after I was like chastising everyone in the Discord to like always take the drop, and then I didn't take the drop, and it was perfect.
Yeah, because it would have sent you back to the start. I'm pretty sure.
I'm such a
Looking at
fraud.
that.
I mean, I am a coward when it comes down to. I want everyone else to take the risk, but I ain't gonna take the risk. I'm a good general.
There, Larry. I thought that was worth discussing briefly.
No, absolutely was. We covered that because he didn't know it looped back, and then I didn't know it looped back either because I was watching you get the hammer at the time or get the spell item. So when I saw the 4th drop, I got excited, but I held my breath because I knew the other guy is sensitive about that room, was also on the microphone with me. So I laid out, and then he didn't do it, and it was informed. Double A told me that room was seen earlier. So, but yeah, so that's about it.
Killer.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Dig
good
Shake,
night.
any final words here?
No, congrats, Joshy D, and can't wait to commentate some more races.
You have a race coming up too, Dig Shake, don't you?
Absolutely. We got a lot of races coming up. I think we got races every day this week, so
Yes, tomorrow night, Double A and Dark Magician play 11 o'clock Eastern time. twitch.tv/adagenos is for that. Did I say 11 p.m. Eastern time, or did I leave that out? Well, whatever. That's Wednesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Jay Coper and Shiner are on Thursday. That's also 11 o'clock Eastern time. No restream for that as of right now. It will get filled. Friday night, midnight, I guess 11:59 p.m. so we don't confuse people on Friday night Eastern time. You play Jackamus. And then there's a whole slew of races all day on Saturday. I still have to schedule mine. I have to get in touch with Jam. I haven't heard from him. I'll send him a message in a different way. But yeah, Dick Shake, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for doing the restream, Larry. And we're just getting started. Lots more races to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you tune in and check out the website, challenge.com/Z2 Randomizer 2017 for more information, upcoming matches, tournament rules, and the links to the VODs of these races in case you miss them. And with that said, we'll see you guys next time.